Good day. I'm Dr.K Gireesh, physician, neurophysician, and neurosurgeon. This is the RNA Series, number 38. Random questions in neurology and neurosurgery with answers by Dr. K Gireesh. This is to benefit the practitioners of neuroscience and the medical field for a lifelong learning, and also for public awareness. The question that I'm addressing in this session is, what is the pathophysiology of Parkinson's disease? Now, in Parkinson disease is a fairly complex entity. The cellular laws, the laws of cells or neurons that occur are in the dopaminergic neurons as well as non-dopaminergic neurons. The dopaminergic neurons that are situated in the mesencephalon and outside the mesencephalon, as well as extracerebral. Now, in the mesencephalon, you find the nigrostriatal pathway can get degenerated. Extranigrostriatal, like the mesolimbic, mesocortical, mesopallidal. Outside the mesencephalon, the parathalamic neurons, the hypothalamic neurons, and the extracerebral will be the dopaminergic neurons in the mesenteric plexus in the intestines. The non-dopaminergic neurons are the degenerative, that is ascending noradrenergic pathway, serotonergic pathway, cholinergic pathway. Also, cellular laws is seen in the nucleus vagus and the pedunculopontine nuclei. Non-degenerative, like the diffuse white matter diseases, probably due to vascular, can contribute to the clinical picture of Parkinson's disease. So, dopaminergic neurons and the non-dopaminergic neurons, there is a loss of the neurons. In dopaminergic, we have the mesencephalon and outside mesencephalon. In the mesencephalon are the nigrostriatal, extranigrostriatal like mesolimbic, mesocortical, mesopallidal. Outside the mesencephalon will be the parathalamic neurons and the hypothalamic neurons. Then extracerebral, like dopaminergic neurons in the mesenteric plexus. Non-dopaminergic neurons are the degenerative, the ascending noradrenergic, ascending serotonergic, ascending cholinergic, the nucleus vagus and the pedunculopontine nuclei. There can be non-degenerative changes to like the diffuse white matter disease because of vascular, and these also contribute to the clinical picture of the disease. So these are the various cell losses that occur in the Parkinson's disease. Although it is generally assumed that at least 50% of the dopaminergic neurons in the substantia nigra pars compacta must degenerate before the symptoms appear. This is an oversimplification. In fact, the nigral dopaminergic neurons degenerate heterogeneously in the substantia nigra, with some areas heavily burdened with the pathology, whereas others remain functional until late in the disease. For symptoms to occur, specific areas within the substantia nigra may lose up to 90% of the dopaminergic neurons, with an accordingly drastic reduction in the striatal dopamine. So nigral neurons go to the striatum. And this has got a precise somatotopic location. This explains why in Parkinson's disease, symptoms manifest in restricted parts of the body, mainly the distal limbs at the beginning of the disease, and then extend bilaterally to the remaining parts of the body. Besides the degeneration of the nigrostriatal dopaminergic pathway, other dopaminergic neuronal pathways, as I said earlier, can also degenerate. The mesolimbic pathway, projecting to the limbic brain areas from the mesencephalon, especially the ventral striatum and the nucleus accumbens. The mesocortical pathway innervating the cerebral cortex, and the mesopallidal pathway connecting the substantia nigra to the pallidum. Neuronal loss within these dopaminergic pathways is less severe and variable in subjects, and this contributes to mood changes, especially when mesolimbic involved. cognitive changes, especially when mesocortical is involved, and motor, especially when mesopalatal changes occur. Then outside the mesencephalon, dopaminergic neurons can get affected, like in the parathalamic neurons projecting to the spinal cord, potentially involving the restless leg syndrome, and hypothalamic neurons resulting in endocrine disturbances. Besides, catecholinergic neurons outside the central nervous system, particularly the dopaminergic neurons in the gut, the mesenteric plexus, and the noradrenergic nerve terminals in the heart, resulting in the cardiac sympathetic denervation. These pathological alterations are assumed to play a role in the dysautonomic symptoms such as neurogenic orthostatic hypotension and the gastrointestinal motility disorders when the dopaminergic neurons of the mesenteric plexus get involved. The non-dopaminergic neurons, widespread progressive neurodegeneration in Parkinson's disease brain affects the non-dopaminergic neurons, leading to the emergence of a variety of both motor and non-motor features, like the ascending neuronal pathways originating from the raphe nucleus, locus ceruleus, and the nucleus basalis of Maynard degenerate in Parkinson's disease. As a result of these lesions, the serotonergic, the noradrenergic, and the cholinergic ascending neuronal systems are damaged. Symptoms include depression, apathy, and cognitive impairment. Other neurons that are lost in the brainstem, like the nucleus vagus, pedunculopontine nucleus, and in the cerebral cortex also there. So therefore, their respective contribution to the Parkinsonian symptomatology includes baroreflex failure, gait and posture abnormalities, and cortical dementia. Non-degenerative lesions such as diffuse white matter abnormalities, considered to be of vascular origin, can also contribute to the clinical picture of Parkinson's disease. These lesions are non-specific, but they must be taken into account with regard to the treatment, response, and the prognosis. In fact, as pointed out by Lang et al., Time to Move Beyond Nigrostriatal Dopamine Deficiency in Parkinson's Disease, published in the Annals of Neurology in 2004. Quite an interesting article. So, to summarize, the cellular laws that I've seen are in the dopaminergic neurons, the non-dopaminergic neurons. The dopaminergic neurons, the mesencephalon, like the nigrostriatal, the extra nigrostriatal, like the mesolimbic, mesocortical, mesopalatal. Outside the mesencephalon, like the parathalamus neurons, hypothalamus neurons, and the extracerebral, like dopaminergic neurons in the mesenteric plexus. Non-dopaminergic neurons are the ascending noradrenergic, ascending serotonergic, ascending cholinergic, as well as from nucleus vagus and the pedunculopontine. Non-degenerative are the diffuse white matter disease, contributing to the clinical picture of Parkinson's disease. That's in brief the answer to the pathophysiology of Parkinson's disease. Thank you very much.